In today's lesson, we're actually going to start off by recapping a little bit on previous videos we've learned in the previous year levels. We're going to start by looking at Cartesian planes. Now, if we remember correctly, Cartesian planes are where two line segments connect at a right angle or 90 degrees, and we call these our set of axes. So to the left here, we have our Cartesian plane, and we have a set of axes that are numbered. Now, remembering when we draw a set of axes, we always need to include the y and x labels on our axes. Now, the way I remember which one goes where is I always say y to the sky. Y to the sky means that y goes up, it also goes down obviously, but x is our horizontal line as well. So now when we talk about Cartesian planes, you can see that we've split our grid here into 4 sections. Now we have names for these 4 sections, and you might remember this from previous years, but I just wanted to recap a little bit for you as well. So here we have our quadrant 1, and if we look at our x and y coordinates, we can see that all of our x coordinates are positive and all of our y coordinates are positive. So we say our x is positive and our y is positive. Now, when we are labeling our quadrants, we work in an anti-clockwise direction. So that's a backwards way to how the clock runs. So we have quadrant 2 over here, which we say x is negative and y is positive. Then we have quadrant 3, where x is negative and y is negative. Then we have quadrant 4, which we say x is positive and our y is negative. Okay, let's do an example. So let's write the coordinates of the points A, B, C, and D. Now remember, when we write coordinates, we write them as our x first and then our y. So with A, we can see we've moved 3 spots to the right on our x-axis, and we're up 2. Okay, so our x would be 3 and our y would be 2. So 3, 2. Now when you're writing coordinates, essentially you're doing it in alphabetical order because x comes before y. Now let's do our B. Now B, we're going backwards 4 places, so that gives us -4, and we're going up 3, which gives us +3. This gives us the coordinates -4, 3. You can see that we're not moving at all from the x-axis, which means our x is going to be 0. And we're going down 4, so we get 0, -4. And the last one is a little bit more tricky. On the x-axis, we've moved 1.5, and on the y-axis, we've moved down 2.5. So we get -1.5 and -2.5. Okay, let's do another example, but this time we're going to plot the coordinates as well. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to start with E. So we can see that we're moving 4 places on the x-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're moving -2 on the y-axis, and -2 means we're going down. So we're going down to -2, 1, 2, and we pop our coordinate here. Now, it says here, label each point with its letter. So that means what we need to do is we need to go here, we need to label this as E. That's not a very good E, but it'll do. So that's E. Now we're going to do F, but I'm just going to quickly erase those lines so that we can easily see where we're up to. And we're going to change our colour. Let's do like a pink or something. So now with F, we're going to go 3 on the x-axis. So 3 on the x-axis is 1, 2, 3. And 0 on the y-axis means we're not going up or down, which means our coordinate is actually right here. And we're going to label that one as F, like so. Now I want you to pause it. I think you can do the next 2 on your own. See how you go, then we're going to keep going with it. Okay, so I'll just erase that while I can, and we'll do the last two together. So we'll go G, let's pick a nice, let's go green this time, hey? So we've got negative 3.5 and 4.5. So negative 3.5 on the x-axis means we're going 1, 2, 3 and a half. And 4.5 means we're going positive, so we're going 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half, which means that our coordinate is in here, our halfway point. Now remembering, if you didn't label this, you wouldn't have completed the question properly. So remembering that we need to call that our G. Okay, and our last one, I'll just erase that again so that we can see clearly what we're doing, is H. So let's do H together. Just changing my colour pen. So we're going to go negative 3 on the x-axis, so 1, 2, 3 on the x-axis, and negative 4 on the y, which means we're going down 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. So we're going to have our coordinate right here. Now don't forget to label it or it's not finished. So we're going to label this H, and that's our 4 coordinates done. Okay, so let's do one last example. In this example, we're going to start by listing the coordinates for each point in our table below. And then we're going to plot these points on the Cartesian plane and join them up with a smooth line. So the first coordinate that we have is negative 6, negative 3. Now you can see here, and my handwriting's not great on this, I'm still learning how to use it, but we've got our brackets and our negative 6, which is our x coordinate, and our negative 3, which is our y. Let's do one more together, and then I think you can probably do the rest. So we've got negative 4 and negative 2. Now pause it here, do the last 5 to get on your own, and then come back and I'll make sure we've got them correct. Okay, so let's do our last one. So we've got negative 2, negative 1, 0, 0. I'll go up here. 2, 1, 4, 2, and 6, 3. So we've got our 7 coordinates listed there. Now we're going to go and plot these on our graphs. So I might just change pen color so we've got an obvious color. I think red works really well. So the first coordinate is negative 6 on the x-axis and negative y. So negative 6 is over here. And negative 3, not negative y. Negative 3 is here, so we're going to put a little dot there. That's our first one. Then we go to the next one, which is negative 4, negative 2, and we put our little dot there. Then negative 2, negative 1, so that's here. Then we've got 0, 0. Now I want you to pause it. I want you to do the last 3 plotted on your own and then join the dots together, and hopefully you'll get one that looks like mine. Okay, so the last coordinates are 2, 1, 4, 2, and 6, 3. So we can see here that for every 2 that it moves across, it's going up 1. And that's what we call our gradient, which you'll learn about later on, but not right now. But just so you've heard it before, it's called our gradient. Now what I want you to do is connect the dots. So I'm going to try and use a line and hopefully make this work. So connect the dots. You can use a ruler. There we go. And we get our straight line. Now this is what we call a linear graph.